What is going on, you dead set legends? And welcome to the Ready Bang, the number one arm wrestling show on the planet, wherever. You know, I'm just excited. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and joined with me, you could argue, one of the most influential arm wrestlers on the planet. Because when there was no arm wrestlers, Larry just gave us all a bit of a flex and went, I'll give you arm wrestling, guys. But the most important thing is he is back in supermatch format, taking on arguably the number one puller in Germany. And I think between them, there's about minus 17% body fat. September 30th, left arm supermatch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Larry Wheels to the show. Larry, welcome back, buddy.
Oh, thank you for having me. Pumped to be here.
Mate, you look like you're in a Coliseum. You're bloody handsome. You're young. You're looking good. Let's start things. Let's just backtrack a little bit. The move to LA. How's all that been?
It's been fantastic. Dubai was great pre and during the pandemic, but post-pandemic, opportunity dried up a bit. So Adam and I decided for business to move back to LA because we actually had moved to LA for what we thought was going to be long-term back in 2018, but that didn't last more than 3 or 4 months. But what came out of that is I met the people that were able to help me set up PR, which was huge, which allowed me to be able to make the decision to work remotely and stay in Dubai as I did. But anyways, being here has been great. Weather's flawless all year round. I came here in January this year, and the weather is exactly the same as it is right now. We're in September. So that's a big plus to me because Dubai was a scorch. You know, it was hell on earth.
Yeah.
Most of the year is just brutally hot. I'm happy not to be there right now.
I quite like Dubai because I'm riddled with arthritis. So my arthritis was having like orgasms every time I went.
So well lubricated.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I must admit though, seeing you at Arizona State, watching some of your latest videos, and this isn't a knock on Dubai, there just appears an extra bounce in your step, a bigger smile. Is there something about being back home that's really done something, or am I just overthinking it?
Well, for one, in Dubai, I was a mass monster compared to what I'm at right now. And life, when you're trying to stuff 8,000 calories down your face every day, isn't very fun. Bloated.
17,000?
No, 7,000.
Still 7,000?
Yeah. I mean, I was having 4 or 5 meals a day, you know, especially before the big deadlift. And, you know, my whole time in Dubai, there was always a PR around the corner. So I was stuffing my face essentially for years. And it's just a hard life, you know, just constantly being full, being huge. Your sleep gets compromised. You got acne. Your mood isn't stable because your hormones are all over the place because of what you have to do to get to the PR. So now that I'm really just on TRT, I'm down about 15 kg from when I was in Dubai. You know, I think that has a major effect on my mental. I just feel healthier too. I was anxious the whole time about my health in Dubai, right? Especially with bodybuilders we know and love passing away, especially at a very young age. So it definitely gave me a bit of a scare several times in Dubai. And I was like, okay, I got to slow down here. I need to change trajectory. And that's why arm wrestling is so attractive to me, because you could get to a very high level in the sport. For example, as far as I know, Schoolboy is totally natural. And that guy is ranked pretty high in the rankings, isn't he? I mean, what, maybe top 50 or so? I mean, he's a behemoth, 6'5", 280. I don't know where he ranks. But even if I could be as good as Schoolboy, right, just on TRT, I think that's like a world-class level. I'd be pretty competitive, and I'd be happy with that, you know, versus trying to be at the world-class level in powerlifting, where you have to take everything to the extreme. Everything's dialed to 11, food, PEDs, sleep, right? It's a very extreme lifestyle, and it's not sustainable, right? So now that I'm here focusing on just being lean, I'm doing classic bodybuilding, I'm dropping even more weight and doing arm wrestling, having the time of my life.
Well, that's one thing I was going to talk about before we get to the bloody big match. I'll tell you, I don't think anyone is more excited than the Aussie arm wrestler that Larry is back in supermatch format. It was cool to watch it pull in a tournament at Arizona, but I'm a supermatch guy, so I'm glad you're back on the table. But getting into bodybuilding, you can give us the details. But in about 4 weeks or so, you're doing a bodybuilding show.
So,
you're doing it all.
Yes, sir. Here we go. So,
keep them away.
Well, I'm doing 2 shows, spread between 4 days. They're going to be back to back. One is Ultimate Warrior here in Anaheim, and the following show is going to be Olympia Amateur in Florida. Olympia Amateur debut is really significant because if I win that show, I immediately get my IFBB Pro card.
Beautiful.
And that's a big step. So it's my classic debut. I've never competed in classic before. But why classic is for several reasons. I won't drag it out too long, only 45 minutes. But classic is where the industry is heading, right? It's a more aesthetic look. It's a healthier look, small waist, X frame. Bodybuilding is shying away from the mass monsters now because they want to go for a mainstream, wider appeal. And the classic guys, especially at the Olympia level right now, they're tall, they're handsome, they got a small waist, good skin, they look healthy, they're far more marketable. And that attracts me to the division because now I see an opportunity to grow my platform even bigger than what it is by being competitive in the division. Now, it's a marathon just like arm wrestling. I don't expect to be at the top level anytime soon, but I enjoy the process just like I did with arm wrestling. And maybe a few years of getting humbled like I have lately in Dubai with super matches, but I'm prepared to take a beating. And yeah.
Well, that's one thing. I probably speak on behalf of most of the arm wrestling world is you're not afraid to back down. Like, and especially I think people do forget how old you are. So it can really hurt the ego with your platform at your age and still coming back. I'll have another match. Didn't go my way. I'll have another match. Didn't go my way. Come second, left and right at Arizona State. I mean, you're losing to world-class athletes, but then you just keep moving forward. It's like, right, okay, cool. Yeah. You don't throw in the towel. You don't have a tantrum. You're like, shit, what do I need to do? Okay, I'm just going to train more. I'm going to pull tournaments. Or with your bodybuilding. All right, I got to do this. I got to eat less. I've got to change my mind frame. And I think a lot of people in the arm wrestling world, and I'm sure bodybuilding and all your lifting, respect you for that.
No doubt. And I'm not going to lie, after suffering a loss immediately after, there are thoughts of, should I keep doing this? Do I have what it takes? And then I remember that my first couple of years in powerlifting taught me a very valuable lesson that there's a learning curve in every sport, right? My first 2-3 years in powerlifting, I was getting injured left and right. I was bombing at a powerlifting meets, right? I was missing lifts. I was just a poor athlete. But after understanding the sport and just being persistent and taking the time to figure it out, I eventually end up becoming a world record holder in 3 different weight classes, right? Something that if you looked at me the first couple of years, you would think would never happen just because of how I was handling training and competing. So not that I'm going to be a world-class arm wrestler the next couple of years, but I do know if I'm persistent, I'm only going to keep going up and up. You only fail when you give up, right? And every time I lost a super match, I thought about giving up because I thought I'm biting off more than I can chew. I thought that, these guys have devoted their whole lives as much as I have to powerlifting, to arm wrestling. How could I ever close that gap? But really, there is no rush. And I genuinely enjoy the sport because there is no shelf life like there is in other sports that heavily depend on your strength, like powerlifting or strongman, for example. Devon is in his mid to late 40s, and he's arguably top 10 in the world right now. So to think that I can do my 40s, not that just because he's done it, I can do it. But he's showing what's possible if you're persistent with it and you don't give it up. That I could be at a world-class competitive level in my 40s, right? I can't say that about any other sport, about bodybuilding, about powerlifting, right? About strongman, right? I mean, realistically, in those sports I mentioned, up until like your late 30s, early 40s, you have to throw in the towel. But in arm wrestling, you're just getting warmed up.
Yeah, you're just getting started. So it's brilliant. It's brilliant, and it's really cool. And I think a lot of us are very glad because when you take some L's, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, Larry. It sucks. Losing sucks. And when you're doing it and you're like, I've got home court advantage and I've got this person coming over and I'm taking an L and then it happens again. Yeah, I kind of want to fill the room full of uppercuts. I don't blame you, but I love that perspective where you just sitting there go, well, shit, John Brzezinski pulled on the weekend and he's 58 and he's still kicking ass. Devon, arguably number one in the world, depending who you ask, late 40s. So, and you're 24?
28.
28. Oh, he's a baby. Larry's a baby. You're a baby in our sport. But, let's get into it. We'll bounce back and forth. We are here. Supermatch. It is, for those in Eastern Standard Time, 9:30 a.m. Saturday morning, which will be the 30th. Leonidas, Arkona. There's a bit of bloody history in this one. How did this match come about?
Right. So his team reached out to me while I was here about let's have a super match because we had a match years ago, right? I think it was my first year in Dubai and the first time Schoolboy was there. And we had a left-handed practice pull. And I remember getting completely wrecked on the left hand. I was able to do the same Tim with my right hand, but we're having a left-handed super match now. So we're not going to talk about the right. But,
Rights for just wearing watches. I'm with you, Larry. It's all about the left arm.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And I mean, we figured, that because we have equal time in the sport, more or less, he joined a couple of years ago, much like I did. And he's been persistent with it like myself. He's been coached by some greats. He had a match with Prudnick, so he's definitely had some world-class teachers in his corner, much like I have. We have very similar stats when it comes to our squat, bench, and deadlift, and also strict curl, right? We have a very similar physique, right? So there's a lot riding on this match because really, when it comes to stature, strength outside of arm wrestling, we're fairly evenly matched. So I think that's what makes it a very interesting match.
Oh, it bloody oath makes an interesting match. I mean, both of you have looked incredible. If I just do something, and then I've just realised that if I stand here, you and I, Larry, are in similar shape. If I look at that, hey,
man, I got to see your shirt off.
I've been cutting me carbs and looking at me biomechanics and it looks good. I'll switch it back. But this makes a killer, a killer interesting match. I like the way it's going because you get to bodybuilders, powerlifters, and things like that. We know round one is a hook. And just that picture of two blokes with no body fat coming inside with a hook round one, it's going to be brilliant. And I think everyone is going to tune in. Where can we tune in for that match?
Right. So it's going to be hosted over at ESN, right? And I'm also going to be, I believe, live streaming on my channel too. So check that out.
Yeah, so I'll just write that down so we can chuck it all in the description. ENS or Larry's channel there. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, awesome. Yeah, mate. Is it just a one-off match? Is it just you two? Is there an undercard?
Right, it's really just us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful, because, lately we've been sitting through 11, 12-hour events. So to just have a one-off, So Also, guys, just keep an eye on Leonidas's channel in case it's on there. Keep an eye on all three, maybe Leonidas's channel as well. Best of 5, best of 7, best of 11.
Right, best of 5.
Yeah, beautiful. It's gonna be brilliant. I don't even care about the rules. I just want to see a hook, you two, bang. Because even now, the one thing that I enjoy The one thing I enjoy is seeing you pull in Dubai and in Australia to now seeing you pull at Arizona States. You are an arm wrestler. There's no ifs or buts. The way you move and set up and everything on the table. I've even got a bloke in the same room as me that you whooped at Arizona State. So I got Uncle John just kicking back there. Have you felt or noticed a significant change in your arm wrestling?
Yes, and the biggest change would really be when I met Ryan Bowen in Australia, and he gave me a very important tip that really changed how I arm wrestle, which is really just protecting my pronator, right? Prior to meeting him, I didn't understand what the role pronation had in arm wrestling is. And once he explained that I need to protect it in the setup before the go, then that just made me able to top roll, right? And as a top roller, I'm not having nearly as much pressure on my inner elbow, which in a hook, as fun as it is, wrecks my elbow. And then I'm taking weeks to recover. I mean, that's standard probably after any grueling match, whether it's practice or super match, right? If you're redlining in a match, it's going to take you a while to be like fully recovered, but it takes even longer if I'm going into a grueling hook battle. So I avoid going into a hook. I mean, I still got a strong bicep and I understand the mechanics decently enough to where I still have it as one of my cards up my sleeve, but I much prefer top rolling now, because I can preserve that precious inner elbow,
Well, now with the bodybuilding, has it interrupted? Have you noticed, like, because you've been doing a lot of training and you go and you're getting ready for this match, has it interrupted your training for bodybuilding, or have you now worked out the happy medium?
Yeah, so there is a happy medium, and really that medium is my approach to practice. And I tell all the new guys this, that when the camera's on, it's not practice anymore. It's okay, who can pin who? And frankly, I think it depends on what your goals are. Like if you want to have fun at arm wrestling, then I mean, have fun, do what you want to do, right? But I'm trying to get to a world-class level. And if I were to redline every practice, I'm never going to be recovered between practice sessions or make significant gains, because just like with powerlifting, for example, if you max out every single time you do a squat, bench, or deadlift, you're never going to make any progress, right? You'll hit a wall very quickly and you'll never break through it. So my approach to programming and practice, really just moderating that intensity at practice, has been what's changed since I stopped recording every single practice session. So really, I could practice every day now, but it's because I'm not redlining with anyone, right? I'm not trying to have a super match with the strongest guy there every time I go to practice. Whereas in Dubai, camera's always on. It's like, okay, no one wants to get pinned on camera, right? There's ego for sure. Arm wrestling,
Absolutely.
100%. And then it turns into basically having a super match every weekend, and then you're wondering why your elbow is always in pain and this and that hurts, and you're not making any progress, and everyone always feels the same. Well, that pretty much explains it. So yes, I have found the happy medium, and I have found it doesn't affect my other training at all whatsoever, especially because now I'm not going for singles, triples, and fives like I was as a powerlifter. At bodybuilder, everything is over 8 reps, right? And even when I'm hitting 8 reps, it's never my 8 rep max. There's always like a rep or two left in the tank, because ideally I want to hit like 10 to 12. I'm trying to build muscle, shape the muscle, sculpt the body, and not worrying too much about how much weight's on the bar at this time in my life. So most important thing for me coming into this match is coming in with a fresh elbow, right? When my elbow is fresh, I can access all that inside pressure, which you still need for a top row, right? Derek spoke about this at our last practice match, how there's a reserve for your inner elbow, and every match it gets depleted a little bit. And he has injury in his left elbow, for example, and he can't access it at all at any time. So he's always fighting outside, and he can't pin someone. Maybe he can take their hand, but he can't pin because he can't get inside his shoulder with his left arm because his inner elbow is injured. So I just want to make sure that I don't go too crazy with the big lifts. I didn't do any big lifting for my left arm, just did lots of static holds, nothing that was like a red line or 1 rep max, and wanted to come in fresh. That's the most important thing for me coming into this match. Just coming in fresh as a daisy, no pain, no inflammation.
And have you made yourself a crown so you can call yourself the King of Germany?
Do you think the people over there are going to accept me as their king?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you take, or when you take down Leonidas, I'm on the Larry Wheels bandwagon, but when you take down Leonidas, I might even negotiate with you about having a left arm match with me for my trophy. But I think Germany will just, they'll have no choice but to bow down. They'll have no choice at all. Going back, big on stats. You got this bodybuilding show in 4 weeks. Now, I'm no bodybuilder, but that would mean that you've had to get lean. So what weight are you coming in now?
Well, right now I'm at 253. So my coach told me, listen, you're going there to win, so it's time to carb up, because I've been on low carbs for the last couple of weeks. So he said, carb up, get full. So I'm probably going to come in at about 280, because once I get some carbs in me, I blow up. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if I jump 15 pounds from today till Saturday. And yeah, carbs are, my strength. When there's carbs in my system, I feel significantly stronger. But then after that, I got to drop the carbs back down again for the bodybuilding show.
Yeah, absolutely. And what will Leonidas weigh in roughly?
He's going to be in the 270s for sure. At the lightest, I'd say the mid 260s.
Yeah.
His legs are just enormous. He can only lose but so much weight.
Bloody hell! Was there an agreement? I'll try again, mate. I don't know what happened.
Well, you fudged it, man. You had one job.
Oh no. Bloody hell. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, okay. So you're both coming in at roughly the same weight. It's going to be cool. Would it be like is this just an exhibition match? Will this go on your official record? What's the go?
Well, absolutely. I think it should go on my record. We both had time to prepare for this match, and we're both taking it seriously. We know for sure there's going to be a significant audience watching the match because of what we saw last year with Prudnik. It was an absolute full house, right? And Leonidas, he's a people's champion in Germany. Everyone knows the guy, and I know he's coming in hot because he wants to make his country proud. So I'm not taking this lightly.
No, and we're glad that we're definitely glad that you're not taking it lightly. It's going to be cool. So when you become the King of Germany, you get your pro card. Who's next? Who's next on the hit list?
Well, after this, that's a great question. I would love to pull Schoolboy again, but I know I'm not ready for the guy. So yeah. I'm still brainstorming who would be next after Leonidas, because this is still a left-handed match, and really I want to build up my both arms in the ranking, So I still have yet to have a win on my right. And before I take on too much that I can chew, like I've had my last few super matches, with the exception of Brandon Allen, now I want to strategically pick the next opponent. Not someone that's a guaranteed win, but definitely not someone like world class, like a schoolboy. So I'm still brainstorming. We're trying to figure that out. Yeah.
Well, I'm asking in the comment section now, who should Larry face next? So give us your answers on this one. Who should Larry face next? Is it left arm or right arm? We currently have a poll open, Larry, and Eddie's just gone nuts. It is all Larry Wheels. 85% out of 171 votes. Is there a reason? And we'll get through some of your guys' answers in a moment. I'll tell Larry in a moment. You've been a part of the pay-per-view system. You've been a part of the free the air system. Hal, you've been a part of every system. One, we're very grateful. But two, how come this match is just coming out for free?
Well, really, we're looking to just get a wider scope of audience. I think the pay-per-view, no doubt, it can be lucrative, but then we close a lot of doors, right? For those that just don't want to pay to watch an arm wrestling match, people that aren't big enough of a fan yet, because arm wrestling very much is still a niche underground sport, and people may not understand the value of watching a pay-per-view arm wrestling match yet. So I think having it free and monetizing it in other ways may be the future of the sport, to get it to grow, to get to the mainstream level where people really, just like with other major league sports, football, for example, or basketball, right? I think it needs time to mature before, like once it's mainstream, then maybe a pay-per-view once again could be like the best way to grow the sport. But right now, I think giving it for free, more eyeballs, and really, we want great content. Leonidas and I are both content creators, right? Yes. And this is a great content opportunity for us, first and foremost.
I think it works out well, because like you could have, you're at 2-point-something million. Leonidas, I think, is around the 250,000 mark. And that's what I mean. People could just be the casual fans, because that's how you got a lot of people into arm wrestling. It was a lot of the casual fans went, Larry's pulling.
Yes.
I like this arm wrestling thing. And it's like, oh, it's Saturday. Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, holy crap. Beauty. Larry's arm wrestling. What the hell? Because you leave for Germany in a few hours, don't you?
Yes. I'll be on a flight this afternoon.
How long does that take?
It's about 11 hours.
Oh, rookie.
Not like the trip from here to
Australia. That is brilliant. So I've asked everyone, who should you pull next? And I'll tell you what, everyone wants.
Oh, I see. Bowen's coming.
Bowen. It's like that. We've got Ron. We got a bit of a Ron Bath. What else have we got? Right arm, around top 20 in North America at 115 kilos. Cody Merritt, right arm. What else? We've got a bit of RVJ going around, which is good. But the overwhelming support is Ryan Bowen. Oh, I'll tell you what, if you got an arm wrestling match with Jake Paul, holy crap. You'd go from 2 to 20 million subscribers.
Yeah, we're not there yet, man. And by the way, where did Ryan find all the time to make all those fake accounts to say Ryan Bowen?
That's how he's got to the top. Hey? Puts in the effort. No, it's great. Guys, we're going to go for about another 10 minutes with Larry and I. So if you've got any questions, because the chat is flying, pop them in. Go nuts. It's going to be brilliant for that one. I would love I think just the hype and a bit of fun. You and Travis Bajan.
That would be a tough match.
Yeah. Travis' left, he could retire for 30 years and his left would still be incredible. But I just think the hype and everything for it will be a bit of fun. You've jumped on the table with Michael Todd before, so I think things like that would be pretty cool. So with the going back to your pro card, I'm pretty interested in this pro card, and you're talking about opportunities opening up because you've done so well so far. What can you just explain briefly? What sort of opportunities? Is it collaborations with other bodybuilders? Is it, really, really big paydays with Olympia and everything like that?
Are you referencing my bodybuilding journey or moving to LA?
Yeah, bodybuilding journey.
Right. So because the classic bodybuilding division is so mainstream now, right? If you look at the top 3 guys at Classic Physique Olympia, they all have millions and millions of followers, right? With C-Bump carrying the crown, those who follow him, even by second, third place, are still well over 2-3 million followers, worldwide recognized, right? These are who the next generation aspires to be and look like, right? It's a Classic Physique guys. And the division really only got popular when C-Bump took the crown about 4 or 5 years ago. Prior to that, there was no Classic Physique. I think the first show was roughly 2016 or 2017. So it's a new division and it's grown like a wildfire. It's absolutely exploded, right? So by me getting into the division while it's at its peak and growing, my platform can multiply. If I not only get my pro card, which is without a doubt going to happen, get to the Olympia stage, top 10, and really climb the rankings at Classic Physique, what it's going to do for my platform is priceless. And then beyond that, what comes from having all that added value from the bodybuilding community, right, is really, I don't know what doors will open, but I know just from what the platform I have already built to this point has given me with opportunity, and it's been very abundant. I have a lot of value because of my platform and my presence on social media. So the bigger I can grow that, the more opportunity will come my way in the future. I don't know what the opportunity is right now. It's like I'm shooting in the dark. I don't know what's going to come from it, but I know it's just going to add tremendous value.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you rather, Larry? I'll put you on the spot here. What would you rather? Be number 1 in the world in arm wrestling or be Mr. Olympia?
Oh, I'd have to say Mr. Olympia, because after I retire from Mr. Olympia, I can still do arm wrestling.
Yeah. Stop finding loopholes in my question, Larry. You're bloody good at that as well. It's probably the 4th time you've stitched me up. But yeah, it's incredible. How are you finding not only your own journey, but since you evolved in the arm wrestling world, how are you finding the growth the last 3 or 4 years of the sport?
Well, during the pandemic, people had nothing better to do but consume content. So it was a great opportunity to produce it. And as a result, we were able to get arm wrestling videos with millions and millions of views because we had the very best in the world come over nearly on every other week basis, right? I mean, I think for a good year, we just had back-to-back pro world-class arm wrestlers popping in, making content, shocking the world. And I'm thinking now there's not many left that we haven't collaborated with. So for my audience, which if you guys don't know what the demographic is, it's all teenage kids, right, between 13 and 21, right? They're heavily influenced by the content we produce and what I'm interested in. So I know for a fact now in every high school in America, there's at least a group or two of kids that are arm wrestling at the cafeteria, right? Every time for lunch, So like Devon said, the right way to get arm wrestling really at the mainstream, with a mainstream presence, is to go to the high schools, take it to the kids, the next generation, put it in this school system, right? And have people teach the next generation how to arm wrestle safely and how it's a real sport, right? And all the things that to love about arm wrestling. And I think that's how, right, we get it mainstream, because I think social media can only do so much for the sport. So we just need a bit more structure in it. And I think going to the schools is the next step.
Well, there's one school in the world, Larry, I am banning you from, and that is a school in Australia named Officer Primary School, because on and off there is a very, very sexy art teacher there, and that is Mrs. Aussie Arm Wrestler. And the last thing I need, Larry, is you bloody turning up and locking eyes with Mrs. Aussie. No, I'm only joking. Yeah, you're 100% right though with the future of the sport. If we can get it, because, you know, I'm a huge basketball fan, Aussie Rules footy fan, and that was, you know, if anything is constantly thrown at you, then of course it's going to be influenced. If it's constantly on the TV. I mean, holy shit, yesterday Uncle John and I were watching World Chase Tag on TV. Like, yeah, it was at the Arnold. So we were just like, oh, bloody hell. But speaking of Uncle John and I were at Devon's house last night, and I've got on video, which I will release soon. I'll tell you off camera, but I'll release soon. He made a prediction of your match. So I would like, in return, your prediction, Larry, of Devon Larratt versus Denis Saplenkov.
Oh, okay. I can do that. Put me on the spot right now? Okay, well,
Get in there.
Yeah, sure.
You can change your prediction every day, mate. If you watch all of my shows, I go back and forth all the time. I'm like a seesaw.
Well, I've been wrong in every prediction I've ever made for an arm wrestling match thus far, but I will predict this one for you. I think Devon has the strongest pronator besides Levon in the sport, and I think that just like he did with Hermes, Denis won't be able to get any wrist flexion, and Denis will be trying to pull with a flat wrist. He's going to straighten him out. And I don't think where Devon is at now, right? He's put on a tremendous amount of size and strength since their last match, and Denis has lost size and strength. So the balance has changed dramatically from what I see. And I don't think, even if when it ends up in a flat wrist pull for Denis, he's not going to be able to pin him with just side pressure. Devon is tremendously strong now, right? And we saw that with Hermes. You know, Hermes couldn't get that cup in. He was really trying to pull with a flat wrist. He ended up in a flop wrist press, which I didn't see coming, honestly. You know, I thought Hermes had the strongest hand control in the game. And for Devon to straight up flatten him out, crack that wrist back, I was like, whoa, where did this come from? So not that I see Denis going into a flop wrist press, but I don't see Denis being able to top roll Devon, that's for sure, or be able to get him, force him into a hook. I think it's going to end up with Denis trying to flat wrist side pressure him, or if he has no choice, try and flop wrist, which Devon is ready for, you know. It's just hard to imagine anyone but Levon pinning Devon right now. You know, when I see Devon with that rock solid pronator, right? If that pronation, wrist rise, everything's engaged, I mean, you're in a super dominant position, right? And even if by miraculously you get him into a hook, right? That's Devon's sweet spot. I mean, Gennady was able to pin Devon with the flop wrist, so maybe Denis will do the same. Look, these predictions are crazy, man. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm rooting for Devon. I think he's a different animal now, and he has maybe next to Levon, definitely top 3 strongest hands in the world.
Yeah, you got a score for us, best of 5?
I think best of 5. I think Devon's going to go 5-0.
Wow, get the brooms out. Larry's called the sweep. Love it. Oh, you bloody ripper. That is awesome. Yeah, we can't wait for that one. Guys, get some questions in now. We'll do a quick Q&A, guys. Get in there. We'll have some things. I don't know why people are getting upset in the chat. Like, you don't think I've got my own stuff prepared, guys? Just settle down. We're having some fun here. With Larry. Yeah, just enjoy it. We've got one here. We've got here. Tall Paul Hutchings says Larry is a smart fella indeed, which is good. Anthony says Larry has always had such reasonable takes on super matches. We greatly appreciate your time, Larry. 100% there. Cybernetic Module. Would you like ask Larry if he'll have arm wrestling tables equipment in his new gym? Potential weekly classes and equipment.
So we're working with Derek Smith to get a coach over at the gym and teach group sessions and host a practice weekly at the gym, much like he does over at his house. And we don't have a new manufacturer for the tables after they sold out. We will have tables regardless, though, in the gym. We're looking at having several tables, and we're going to have at the front desk, what we're thinking right now is all the arm wrestling attachments under the front desk, and people can like give in their wallet, for example, and they can rent the equipment. So you don't have to buy all of the attachments on your own and bring a massive bag full of them. We can just keep them there at the gym.
That's cool. That is very cool. Will you stream any arm wrestling training in your new gym?
Absolutely, no doubt. In the new gym, I expect to live there. I fully expect to be there from dawn till dusk, and I'm going to be filming a ton of content there.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't wait to get myself over to LA and check it out. Does Larry plan on hosting a big tournament?
Absolutely. You know, we're thinking about partnering with Bill Collins and having a big tournament set up right here in the gym.
Oh, I love Bill. Bill is a great guy. Couple more. Will we get Larry Wheels, Brian Shaw collab?
Well, Larry's working on it. I'm working on it right now.
Yeah, he's always working. Don't let that smile fool you. My man, Jeff Nicholson from Dubai. How is the gym build? There will be tournaments, so Jeff will be on the next plane over. Gym's coming along good?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the demo's done, just doing the build out. We got all our equipment that we need, and there's absolutely going to be tournaments, and I expect Jeff to crush it. He's a rising star down there in Dubai.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. Great dude as well. Every time I catch up, I have a drink with Jeff. Really got a lot of time for that guy. And he won a tournament. I think the first time I was there, he won an amateur tournament, which is unbelievable. Guys, I've got a little bit over time with my time with Larry. Can we all please thank you for Larry and wish him all the best when he goes over and just gets himself a little bit of Leonidas and he rolls it up and smokes him. I'll tell you, that's the way it's going to go. I think Larry's going to win. 85% of the people in the chat think that Larry's going to win. I've got an angry Uncle John here. He wants to challenge you on the left arm, wants some revenge from Arizona State. So I'll be pushing for that match. But yeah, Larry, good luck. And thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you much for having me. And I'll talk to you soon, man.
You don't got a chance.